I decided years and years. Well, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably probably about. It was during the pandemic when we were in lockdown, because I normally do live comedy, and obviously that was all shut down. So I basically was like, what should I do? I can't. And so I decided to write a pilot, and then wrote it during lockdown, and then sent it to my agent, and then my agent sent it to Chris, because you'd met my agent before, something or other. Then Chris read it and sent a whole load of notes back to me saying that it wasn't right and it wasn't very good. And I read it back and I was like, no, I agree actually. And then, but he had this amazing, like, constructive criticism, and told me that the characters were really good, and it was just in the wrong setting. So I ended up being like, kind of just basically removing characters and putting them into a whole new setting, and then applied all of those other notes, and then we sent it back to you, and then you were like, oh yeah, let's try and develop this.
Because there was just a real energy to Phil's writing, even in that kind of that first script. And then we met and discussed the kind of notes that I'd given in person, and kind of really hit it off, and it's found really funny. Watched a lot of his stand-up as well, and just like, there's definitely something in this. But yeah, some writers, that can be a fight and flight moment of like, oh, okay, it's a lot of work, and I maybe wasn't ready to share. My agent was ready to share the work at this point, but Phil took on everything in his stride and just went, well, how about this? And here we are.
Then we just started developing it together, didn't we? And then I guess we got to a point where we were like ready to send it to the BBC, and then it went from there.
Yeah.
We set it in Middlesbrough, which is a town where I'm from in the northeast of England. It's kind of very underappreciated, and there's not much happens there in terms of filming. There's never anything that goes on there in terms of TV. So I thought I'd love to set it there. There's a warmth about it because I'm from there. I grew up there. I know the people there, and there's some good characters there. And I used to go to the gay bars in Middlesbrough a lot and watch people coming in and out and being like, why aren't these people in a sitcom? Why aren't they in a comedy show? So I decided to write it from there. And yeah, my character, I kind of had the idea for the character in my live stand-up that I did, because I don't really do straight stand-up. It's more character stand-up. So I had ideas of that character. It wasn't specifically the character that I've got in the sitcom now, but it was ideas of that character, and scattered through a few different other characters. But then I went, oh, there's a good character here that's a bit of a narcissist, a bit of an idiot, a bit of a it's all about himself, and yeah, so I kind of went from there. And I found it kind of almost easier to write for myself, because I could hear myself speak. I could hear how I'd say the lines, as opposed to writing for the other characters. But then obviously we decided to make it more of a gang show, and so then it was about developing other characters, and that was when I found what I actually found really fun and interesting, was creating the world and creating the other characters that were in the world, and not having their voices in my head, because we'd obviously not cast them yet, but having an idea of what they could sound like. It's really fun. Yeah.
That's a very good question. Well, I think it's about, personally for me, because every producer is so different with how they work with writers established or new. I try to take time to really get to know them, and I came to a lot of Phil's stand-up gigs. So we were starting to hang out socially and in a workplace environment as well. So I was from his stand-up, I was kind of seeing more and more of what he could do material wise, but then also, we were becoming friends. So I think that's really key for the relationship, in my point of view, is just to try and, because then you can really help access what they want to do with the show, and just you're guiding each other in creating this world without overwhelming him, but also kind of maintaining and protecting what he wants to do. So, so yeah, I think development just takes time, and it, we're not often gifted with that, especially when you're on production doing another show and you're trying to work with writers who you're still developing. But yes, it's just taking time to get to know them.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, it'd be a dream. I had honestly, it is a dream come true, and I had the best time doing the first series. So
Yeah,
to be able to do a second series would be just be
yeah.
heaven, and working with the rest of the cast and knowing how well we got on, and it was just fun. I was just like, I was literally, I was like, sat there going, how am I allowed to be doing this when I'm having the most
Yeah,
fun? And it's obviously hard work and it's long hours and everything, but just to be able to do what you want to do
yeah.
as a job is a dream. And so yeah, second series would be absolutely
Yeah,
gorgeous,
come on,
wouldn't it?
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.